NLP training and techniques, you're using neuro-linguistic programming to change your life, the law of attraction, and science. What does science actually say? And how can you use your NLP training or your ideas about the law of attraction and all of that? Well, first of all, the latest science, and I'm one of the few NLP trainers in the world that really focusing on the latest science, that inherently teach NLP also with bringing in a lot of science. It has been focusing on what's the difference really between an optimist and a pessimist. Well, what a pessimist does is they think about a problem, and they may want to blame others or they want to blame themselves. But they also use the brain in a way that it becomes their whole life. This problem affects everything, every little part of me. I have no control. And it sort of mounts to be this huge thing. Where an optimist has a more positive outlook on life, that's one. But they also believe that problems are temporary, like emotions are temporary as well. It only affects one little part of your life, not all parts of your life. And an optimist starts to think about, well, what can I do in terms of an action to resolve my own problems? Well, here's a little technique out of many NLP training techniques and neuro-linguistic programming techniques that may help you a little bit. Often we have a problem, and that's it. And we play the movie in our mind, let's say, and we start from the start of the problem all the way to the end of the problem, and that's it. And the problem is, we either start to feel the emotions of that problem, negative emotions, or we start to just study and observe this problem, and we may learn about it. But it's not the most optimal way to use the brain. So what would happen if you play that movie of your problem? What if you added, let's say, 5 minutes? Let's say it's an argument, and you added 5 more minutes to that argument in a movie in your mind. Then you may see that you walked out, the fight stopped, and you started to think about it. Maybe you were fine. Right after, maybe you thought about the problem. But what if you added 10 more minutes to that, 15 more minutes? What if you make this movie longer and make it a month? Then this problem starts to sort of lose its power. Because most arguments and most problems that we have, unless we don't fix them, kind of don't last an entire day. When is the last time you were experiencing a problem 24/7, every waking minute of your day? Probably haven't. So by adding more time to the movie, whether it's maybe 10 minutes, half an hour, a day, a month, 3 months, do you still care about it? So that's a little technique. So hi from Bali. We just finished our NLP training here, and hope to see you either here on Bali or in Los Angeles or Amsterdam. See you around.